Hey guys, how you doing? It's Ray here. I'm going to show you what NoFap can do for you. So in this video, I'm basically going to show you how to restore an old deck. I restored this old deck my father built in 1996, and I modernized it to make it look like this. So to give you guys some context here, this deck was built by my father in 1996, a few months after he bought the house. And basically, it's a house that's situated in Montreal, Quebec in Canada. It was built in 89. And the deck he built was to replace an aging deck, at the time there, the prior owners built. It was in decrepit shape. And, my father, he passed away in 2002. Fast forward now to 2021, 25 years later. I had some time on my hands this summer because, everybody's off. And I got laid off because this pandemic psyop. And I had some time on my hands, and I said to myself, look, let me do something productive with my time. I'm on NoFap, over 2,000 days of NoFap. A good, solid, almost solid 2 years of celibacy. Here we go. Let's put that energy to work. And I stuck through with this project. That's what that NoFap and that discipline does to you. You take a project and you don't just stick through. You don't just stick through a project that requires a week or something. You'll stick through months. So this was like a few months. Took a few months to do. I wasn't fully working on it because I had. I wasn't fully committed to it day after day because I had other things I'm doing. I'm running in a municipal elections for city councilor. I'm doing a few other things. Yeah. So basically, another thing too is that the reason it took a few months is because I did poorly plan it. And that caused me to actually end up injuring myself, and I got arthritis sort of symptoms and what have you, which required rest and healing. So basically, I should have scrapped these existing railings, but I started off by taking apart the deck and sanding down these pieces of railings. So, I'll show you some of that here. Yeah, so I set up shop in the garage, brought all the pieces in there. Some pieces did not come off. The longer boards did not come off. Here's some walk around. Later, I had, gravel stones put underneath the deck there. Underneath the deck, it's pretty solid. That's how my dad built it, a good construction. As you can see, it used to be, he stained it, and then my mom, she painted it red, and then it was flipped. Some boards were flipped, and now it was then painted brown. Before I went at it with 60 grit Cubitron 3M sandpaper I got over at the Canadian Tire. I probably went through like about $400 worth of all that, $7 a pack. Do the math, cut them up into little squares for my palm sander. I actually went through this palm sander, this Motorcraft or whatever. It some pieces broke on it. The clips that connect, to the sandpaper to the machine. Whatever, that thing is already 10 years old when it went. I got a Makita sander off of Amazon. Those things are really good. So have your fan set up. I was blowing all the, sawdust or whatever, the dust onto the driveway, and I would just wash it away. It's an old driveway. We got a new one in right now. It looks pretty good. I'll make a video about that later. So yeah, just have all that dust in there. Here's the railings. Sad part is that I put a lot of time into it. Went at 8 hours a day. I ended up hurting tendons in my arm, lower arm, my hand, what have you. Ended up giving away these pieces for free on Kijiji on the free section. Trust me, a lot of generous people give away free shit there. And, I wanted to just give back, so I gave it to some dude. He came by and picked up these pieces. But as you can see, the garage was extremely sandy. You just wash it down, and then, all the parts you can't wash, like the floor, you just, you just take some baby wipes. Had a good drill, Ryobi electric drill, that's what I used to pull up all these pieces, electric drill, make sure it's charged, Had some gloves on, baby wipes to clean the area, there you go. Make sure you got good hearing, safety hearing equipment. Make sure you got a mask and gloves, old clothes while you're doing this. Glasses for sure too. There's I had some. I was gonna use it. I was gonna use Bondo car filler to fix some of these wood that was rotted pieces. But Honestly, these are just part of the railing. I threw it all out there. These pieces I threw out. It is what it is. So here's me sanding there. Pretty simple back and forth. Make sure you apply some pressure, not too much, obviously. Honestly, they say you shouldn't be sanding for over 2 hours a day. I was really going at it. I was going at it for like, 3, 4, 6, 8 hours a day. I mean, a lot of hours. I mean, of sanding. And sad part is, like I said before, is these are parts of the railing I ended up actually just giving away. So had I properly planned this, that would not have happened. And I probably would have just put that time into the actual deck. Here's how some of these pieces look like. This is a flip piece. Had some red paint. These are pieces actually towards the deck. These pieces I used. So this is how it looked like. I flipped it because it kind of warped. So I used that piece, red paint. And here's how it looked like after, that 60 grit. I started with 80, and then I went with the aggressive 60 grit. It was, that Cubitron's pretty good. It's got what do you call it? A stickier, rubbery backing. Here's how the pieces look like. So it really works well in the hand sander, the palm sander there. So the base of where the stairs were being held, cracked. So when I put the stringers back on, I just realigned it to the part that wasn't cracked. There was a wood and a gap there in the hole, so it was really rotted. Just drilled it in. So I started going on the deck. This is really where I should have started. I should have took all those railings, threw it out, and started on the deck. So basically, these long boards did not come off. They're really hard to take off. Here's that new Makita sander I got on Amazon for like $80. A really good piece of machinery. What's good about the Makita is I got smaller hands, and it's an Asian brand. It's Japanese. So what I found interesting was it fit in my hands pretty good. So I did that part too there. I had access to it. Went right in there. Did the sides. Sides were pretty good. Did the whole deck. I was doing about 3 planks a day. And then I took all these pieces for the steps. I sanded it I stained it on the driveway, as you can see here. Old driveway, 30-year-old driveway. Use this Behr premium transparent wood finish. We'll see how long this is good for. Personally, I should have just put it all together on the deck and done it on the deck because it was dripping. I ended up having to resand some of these pieces actually when it was on the deck. That stain. You're better off actually using a rag. You soak the rag, and then you rub it applied. Although this process still works, but I find this process with this much better for the longer boards. Make sure it doesn't drip on the edges because when it drips, it can create stains and what have you. Not drip stains. So I realigned the steps in a more modern way, kind of like a skeleton fashion. Skeleton steps is what they call it. So yeah, it was pretty good. Realigned it, and then make sure you pilot holes when you put in new holes. Pilot it with a drill bit that's a little thinner, or as thin as your screws. I use these green coated screws. But the brown ones work just as well. I forget how galvanized something rather. I don't know. But they were coated. And here's how I put them together. Just checking it out there. Stain the entire area. And that's how the steps look like. Went at the deck here. Set up shop. On the deck. Had the fan. The fan really helps getting rid of all the dust or blowing it out of your way. It was really hot out. Make sure you got long sleeves on, something that covers your neck. Have some glasses on too. Take breaks. They recommend, as I mentioned before, 2 hours a day. Really hurt my tendons, my hands. If you do end up getting problems with your hands or lower arms, just take a few days off. Take an Advil or something. There you go. This is the comparison, stained and before and after. That's how it looks like. And there you go. Matches the interior of the house, actually, the wood there. So to give you an idea of cost on this project, basically giving another 30 years to a 25-year-old deck. I basically pulled out a lot of rotted screws. So buy yourself a new pack of screws for that. You may need some new wood. I needed some new wood where the steps met the concrete platform. I didn't pour new concrete. I just, I made I cut a larger piece of wood and drilled that piece of wood with concrete screws into the concrete. About another $200 on stone gravel. The same guy who did the driveway at the stone gravel underneath the deck. Gives it a visual pop. He cleaned up the weeds and what have you, leveled the earth, what have you, and then put the rocks there. It gives it a more modern look, cleaner look. And then, 2 cans of stain, that's about $100. $400 or $500 of 60 grit sandpaper. You could probably find yourself like an industrial pack, a bunch of them online. I couldn't find it, unfortunately. I couldn't find it on Amazon, and I didn't feel like getting it on eBay because the shipping's longer. Plus, you don't know what you're really buying on eBay. So that's sandpaper $400, $500, screws $20, a new sander about $100. Go with a good brand like Makita, and then 2 cans of stain applicator, and all that. That's probably another $20. What else would you need? Probably some Advil. But what's that? What else would you need there? That was pretty much it. It was a pretty simple job. And, this definitely gave this deck longevity in terms of, refresh, visual refresh. You feel good about your house. Definitely value your house. And, the new railings was another $1,000. Check out my other video about that. Feel free to comment, ask questions. I'll respond. Anything else, hit me up. See you guys later. It's Ray. Bye.